All right.
Camera's on.
All right. So let's go ahead and call this meeting to order at 6:30. So I will just need a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second it.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Let's go ahead and, does anyone have questions on any of the consent items?
So,
Okay, can I have a motion to approve the consent items?
I'll motion to approve it.
I'll second it.
All approved?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Or no?
There's no one from the public here. Jamie, you have anything?
So, I don't have anything from the public, no.
Okay. So let's go ahead and move to the director's report.
All right, well, we're open. We can tell that we're open. It's kind of interesting though. So we had, our door counter for April was 1,005 compared to 181 in March and 0 a year ago. But our circulation was actually only up by 130 from last month, even though that many more people. But it's people, they're still, they're putting things on hold, they're coming to pick them up, or they're coming in and they're you have 4 people coming in to pick something up instead. And so, but people are definitely coming in. Library patrons saved $31,664 in April by using the library. We did 20 passports in April, so we've been still very busy with those. Our library giving day on April 7th, 8th, I forget, raised $930. There's actually $1,130 that was pledged, but $930 of it has been collected. And then the fundraising letter that we did with library, or the Parks and Rec, and we sent out one kind of for sponsorships and things like that. We received $1,900 in sponsorships from local businesses.
Right.
So they're getting window claims to put in their business windows that say proud sponsor of, Polk City Library, proud sponsor of Polk City Parks and Rec, things like that. So, the city received CARES money as part of the pandemic relief. So like throughout that, from the beginning, we had to turn in all of the receipts for things that we spent on pandemic related, cleaning supplies, all kinds of stuff. And so the city got that, and Chelsea is distributing that amongst the city departments. So we have like $23,500 that I need to spend by the end of June. That was not originally budgeted. So we are working a lot on that right now. The only thing that we have ordered for sure right now, and so that storage cabinet there, we just ordered 4 more of them to finish off that wall. And that's going to allow us places, that's the biggest thing we're short on in here, anywhere in this library storage. So we can fill that with the craft supplies and stuff so that it's just right here when we do a program. One of the things that we had budgeted for out of our trust fund for next year was Ancestry.com to start in July 1. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pay for, I'm going to go ahead and get that started as of June 1 out of CARES money. And then next year, right at the end of our budget year, we can use what we allocated this year to pay for the renewal. So we're going to get 2 years out of it. But we're really excited about adding that. We're going to get new desks. One thing it was budgeted new desks for Pam and Melissa. They have the 1950s teacher surplus. Yeah, their drawers stick. They don't. So we're getting those. I think we're going to get new staff computers that are going to be more laptop oriented with docking stations, because if there's anything that we learned during the pandemic is that our workstations were not portable. It took a lot. So those will be, that's just going to make things easier for us. And then the Friends of the Library have been raising funds for our, we call it the pop-up library or the mobile library, where we can set up at events, the farmers market, things like that. And so I think I'm gonna use the CARES money to at least get the tent for that, even though we don't have all the funds to get everything to go in there yet. But if I can get the tent and maybe the table drapes, the coverings that say Polk City Library, we can have those by this summer and we have a lot of events coming up this summer where we can use that. And it'll just help people see that the library is out and about in the community. So, but we're working on
Do
all
you
of that.
guys have like t-shirts that say like Polk City Library that you're gonna be wearing or have these type of events?
We do have different things like from different summer reading programs or things like that. We do have some staff shirts from about 3 years ago, and we were gonna replace those in next year's budget, but that might be something
I
that,
think that would look
I
nice.
like that idea. So, anyway, so we're working on that. We're still waiting on some editing permissions for our new website. We're trying to get that, I'm laying into them pretty hard because I want that launched here before summer. We really kind of scale back all of our programs. There's no kids programs this month as far as online story times, Busy Bee Kids, because we're just all in for summer reading. I was just talking with Rod before, we're having trouble with our wireless router, so we're looking for options to replace that or get things figured out. We've got about 6 or 7 teen volunteers on board for summer reading, which helps a lot. We will be at the May 27th Farmers Market doing this is the kickoff registration for summer reading. We went to the zoo last Tuesday and filmed a promotional video that I've got to do the final edits on that tomorrow, and then it will go to the elementary schools. Since we can't go over to the schools this year to promote summer reading, we're sending them a 15-minute video that's going to get them all excited. And we printed bookmarks. They should be here tomorrow, so they'll get those. One of the things that we're doing this summer, in addition to things, the Sounds on the Square has moved to Concerts on the Course for the summer so that there's more room for people to spread out. And one of the complaints that the chamber was getting with that was people like having the park, so their kids have something to do while they're at Sounds on the Square. So we are going to have a kids craft table set up there, and Polk City women are going to help staff it. So we always have extra craft supplies and things. So we are doing that so that there's something for kids to do. So although that's from 6 to 9, I think our craft table is going to be 6 to 8. The Friends of the Library have several things coming up this summer. So the May 24th to the 29th, so that week leading into Memorial Day weekend, that will be the roundup at Fairway for the Friends of the Library. June 25th, they'll be doing a free activity. That's the police night out on the square. And so they're going to have like a carnival type game for kids to play. July 10th, there is a fundraiser at Papa's Pizza and Fenders, and there'll be live music too, so all kinds of stuff there. And then it looks like they'll be having their Pop Toss fundraiser at the Mini Fest on July 17th. So there's lots of stuff coming up this summer in Polk City. So, and that's pretty much it.
All right. Our liaison report?
Well, one thing to tag on, which Diana, my wife and I were in Menards last week, and we ran into Regina Butler, who's with the Friends of the Library, and she was buying painting supplies and paint and planning stuff, and apparently she has big plans, and she's about as enthused as anybody to ever want to talk to her. And so that's going on. In the city, we found out, there was an email, I don't know if you get Chelsea's emails, that Hy-Vee's back.
Oh, okay, that I didn't have.
And they're going to buy more ground from across from Casey's, Kimberly's, and they're going to put the store that was going to be on the city property on that property, and the Fast and Fresh and the gas station is going away. I guess that's the word so far.
Okay.
I'm
That
happy
seems
with that.
reasonable.
I'm happy with that. But I don't know, just me, but I don't think we need another convenience store in Polk City. We're going to have 3. And
So it's not gonna be a gas station?
no, it's going to be a mini market. I don't know what they call it. It's not going to be a full-blown Hy-Vee. and neither was the one on the city property, and
Right.
it was gonna be I don't know what, they got a name for it. But supposedly that's back on the table. Bridgeview Plat 2 is in full swing. Quickstar is starting to tear things up down there. I went to coffee this morning for the first time in a long time, and everybody's asking me, where'd that old bridge come from? Where'd that old bridge come from? I said, I have no idea what you're talking about. They dug up an old steel bridge out there on that property.
There is a bunch of
Yeah, it's laying there. I had to
Yes.
drive out there, and it's laying. I said, I have no idea. And I don't think there's anybody around old enough to remember where that was. Had to be across the creek somewhere. It's not big enough to have gone across the river, so
Yep.
I don't know. Just another one of the Polk City mysteries. But other than that, grants, we've got several grants coming that Chelsea won for the trail extension out to where the new elementary school is going to be. So not enough to fully fund it, but it'll make it easier on the city to get that done. So that's something I think is very important. I'm looking forward to. Other than that, it's just pretty much business as usual. We're back to, we've had 2 live meetings now. No public yet, but first one was just council. This last one, staff came, and I don't know if they're going to slowly expand or what's going to happen. And so far, I felt comfortable in them, and I was a big naysayer for the longest time, but now Diana and I are fully vaccinated. For those of you who don't know, my 94-year-old mother-in-law lives with us, and she's fully vaccinated now. So, and that was a big thing. Diana didn't care if I got it, but if I brought it home to her mother, no, she really cared. She really did care about that.
So, yeah, the last meeting was, we discussed the facilities plan.
Yeah, oh yes.
And it sounds like Chelsea wants to have Shai Pattery come and do a presentation to the library board, so that may be at next month's meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot all about that.
So,
And about the only thing I had to say about that, because there's great expectations, I'd love to be able to wave a magic wand and get it all, but I don't think that's going to happen. But they're talking about a community room and library combined with a common space in between, or rec center, that's what I meant, rec center, combined up on the property where Hy-Vee wanted. And my feeling is that's the one that's going to be accepted by the public. That's the one the public wants. There's public use there. I don't think the public cares about a new city hall. I don't think the public cares about a new police department. But I think a new library and a rec center would be very well received.
What would probably happen to this building then?
Pardon?
What would happen to this building then? Would it?
the facilities proposal has this actually becoming the police station.
Oh, okay.
Police department moving in here,
And then
yeah.
the fire department would expand into the existing community room and the
Police station.
existing police station.
I don't know how you guys feel about a shared facility, but,
So Jason and I have done a lot of talking, and we're actually excited about it.
well, good.
Yeah.
Good, that's good to hear. You know, because originally, before this was built, there was a lot of talk about sharing with the elementary school and the public library. In other cities, I know that's just never seemed to work out well, because everybody wants to be in charge. So it never seemed to work out well. How old was this library now? Do you remember?
Say what?
When was this built?
2005.
2010?
5.
5, yeah. I don't remember that. I'd already been on the council about 16 years, I think. It was a long time coming,
So,
and just like everything else, we've plain outgrown it. It's a very nice facility. Only good things have happened since we moved in here, and very proud. The city administrator at the time didn't want to put public friends in the library. He kept saying, let them grow public money. And Friends of the Library, that's when they got started, and they were working their tail off. The library board was working their tail off. And the sad part was, Lavina Barkas was on the council there, who used to run the daycare. She called me on a Sunday night and said, we got the money. The city has the money right now. I said, well, make the motion tomorrow night, I'll second it, we'll see what happens. And the rest is history, as they say, it passed, and we're very happy.
Okay. No board education tonight, so we'll move ahead to the agenda items. First one's to review tier standard section 5 regarding virtual spaces.
All right, so, like I said, this is just one of those things that we have to review every year. It's not very exciting. But virtual spaces, boy, we have accessed our virtual spaces in the last year. So the first one, the library offers public internet-enabled devices and staff trained in their use. We have those. Counts the total number of public use of internet-enabled devices in the library. We do that. We keep track of how many people use the computers each day, and then we have a Wi-Fi counter that lets us know how many people have connected to the internet or new devices. Yeah. Provides a printer for public use. Yes. Provides wireless internet. We do. Maintains a current website. Yes. We budget for computer replacement on a regular basis. We do. We have a separate computer location for use by children or young adults. We have our off stations. We just don't have enough children using the computers to designate like a kid's computer bank area. And that is not actually a standard that is tied to accreditation. That's just an optional one. Provides computer or internet training for its customers. We do not. Has access to broadband internet. Yes. And provides access to online databases. And we do. Now the state is redoing a lot of those. They're up for bid. So the Gale, Transparent Language, Chilton, Credo, they're all going away July 1st. I'm not sure what's replacing them. They're a new thing. They've done RFPs for new things. I do think we purchased last year in August homework help on our own, which has actually been well used. So people you can log in with your library card and get free tutoring for your kids with their homework or, ACT prep, all kinds of stuff. And it does look like the state is going to pick up that expense. So the library will not necessarily have to pay for that next year out of our own fund. We pay the state to, but yeah. And provides access to and promotes a downloadable materials collection, ebooks and audiobooks, absolutely. And provides access to digitized local collections like photographs, cemetery records, but we don't have those. So, now I don't know, a lot of that with Ancestry.com, I think we would have a lot of that. So, that is section 5.
Okay. Let's go ahead and review the inclement weather policy and emergency policy.
So that's one too that I sent you. We really spent a lot of time in, was it 2019? I think going and really revising this policy from, it used to be if the school closed, we closed, and we spent a lot of time talking about that didn't necessarily need to be the case. And so this, I feel like for the most part, this policy has worked out pretty well for us. As far as closing early in inclement weather, it's a little harder, school gets, but I feel like I don't feel like we've overused that. I think we closed maybe twice this year, early because of weather. And then the only time that wasn't really, well, I guess it was weather, so it wasn't winter weather, was we were closed for a day, the rest of the day after the derecho, because we didn't have any electricity or internet or anything up here. So yeah, I don't see any need to change that unless any of you have suggestions.
I don't.
I know, I read through it today, it was good.
Okay. Item 3, approve resolution 2021-03L, authorizing the disposal of a podium, futon with cushion, end table, and table lamp.
All right, so that is, for those of you who know, we have this makeshift podium. It's back here in the closet. It's huge. It wobbles. What we would like to do, kind of even with our using maybe that CARES money, is basically we want to get rid of that. We just want to get a tabletop podium So when we have a program, we can just set a table up there, we can put that table drape on it, this is Polk City Library, and put the tabletop podium on top of it. And there are several that fold up and fold flat and things like that, and we can get rid of this big monstrous, the casters aren't balanced, so it kind of leans. The other thing, so that futon typically sits just on the other side of this half wall over here. And then there's this handmade little table and a little lamp that sits on that. And that futon has kind of been, it's just grungy and old. I think it was donated years ago. And now in light of COVID, I mean, it's not anything that can be cleaned or anything. And so we feel like it's time for that to go, and maybe we just move a piece of our team furniture into that space. But those are things that we've kind of decided have come to the end of their usefulness for us.
Okay, if I can get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Alright, so, item 4, discuss a plan for landscaping improvements behind the library.
Did any of you get a chance to walk around back there? That's all in follow-up to last month's complaint from the citizens who live behind here.
Yeah, I just kinda drove slow to see if I could see anything. What are your thoughts? I mean,
I have no idea. Public Works has said that, they check the trees and stuff every year. He said, her saying that they're dead, he goes, I'm not so sure they're dead, they just haven't bloomed yet this year. So he kind of wanted to hold off and wait on that. As far as, I don't remember, the worms, what were they called, the bagworms?
Yeah.
So he did say that they do occasionally have those back there. But
is there anything you can do to prevent them, or is it just,
Not really. They like that location. It got the nice heat coming in the mornings, but summer.
so do they usually tend to show up in the summer? Is that what they're like, a heat?
Yeah. As far as I know.
So,
And I'm not an entomologist, so.
for sure. So that was just something last month that was tabled to this month.
I'm not opposed to waiting and seeing, like, so everything's
Yeah.
kinda just coming alive.
So I know on May 26th, I think is when the 8th graders come to Polk City for their annual community service day, and they're usually up here doing things, so I can kind of make sure that they go back there and pick up any extra things. I mean, we were back there last year and picked up all the shingles and stuff that came off the roof, but I'm sure there's more things that have accumulated back there now this winter. And kind of clean that up a little bit. I know they usually mulch out here in front of the trees. I don't know if they ever do anything back there, but I can talk with Mike.
Anything you want done, or anything you can think of, make a note, give it to either Mike or Randy, because they'll be looking for things. This is a big group they have coming this year. My grandsons are in that group, so.
So, yeah, and we're getting the reading bags for summer reading, and then there's a bunch of things that go in there. And usually there's a few students, like Michelle's students, sometimes they can't be out doing the things out there. And so they look for indoor activities for them. So we're kind of hoping they'll stuff those bags, because the next day then is our kickoff at the square. And so we'll just kind of wait and see, and then have the 8th graders clean up back
Yeah.
there. Okay.
Okay, so item 5, determine next board education topic and presenter.
So I think, did we determine at the last meeting that Corey was probably the one who was due?
Yes.
Okay. So,
It wasn't me.
no, you had just gone, Lisa did the last one, and so it would be the next chapters in the handbook.
I would say, yeah, if Corey can't do it, I'm happy to jump on board.
Okay.
If he's not able to make it to the next meeting.
Alright.
adjourned at 6:55.